Hi guys, it's Cobalt. Today I'm going to be doing a music stream, but it's storming here, so I'm probably not going to be going very long. What I'm doing right now is fixing my camera position because it's off to the side because my cat knocked it over, which was definitely not ideal. I was wondering if I should be continuing the song from last time or starting a new one. It just depends on what you would like. I'm thinking about continuing the one from last time, and I've got the lyrics up in a notepad and am planning on extending it to a full length because currently it's half of it is finished. I quite like it, honestly, and I would like to continue it. Well, I'm gonna open the one from last time. Yes, I believe this is it. But at any time, if you would rather I work on something different, just let me know what you're looking forward to the most. So I haven't changed very much since last time, just a little bit with the levels, which I didn't change very much. And I put this back to being audible because I no longer have a vocal line there because I'm not going to be singing, at the moment at least. So this is the melody. It will be replaced later. And that's where it's ended with the lyric writing. I just wanted to hear what this instrument sounded like. I wonder if this would actually sound better here. No, I personally like that a little more. Wonder why I can't start this at the same time. Well, let's see where it starts. There we go. It was starting just fine, it just wasn't ending at the right time. So what I wanted was, I wanted to go, these are basically becoming a harmony for the higher synth. And then I want this to, but I just can't figure out what time I want it at. Pardon me, I think my cat is getting into his food. All right, he is no longer getting second dinner. He's very silly. Definitely need these to be quieter. I'm gonna lower the velocity. Maybe have it rise slowly. No, you don't get a second dinner. That wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. There we go. I don't actually want as much wobble on this part. So let's see what I can do. Well, it doesn't appear to be the LFO, which means it's a mixing setting. No, it's not dinner time. There we go. Okay. Then it's the auto filter. Time to automate it. What do I want to change? Let's see. Set 500. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think that's what I will do. Well, let's see what else there is. And of course, there's the speed. Because of the delay, it sounds really cool. But let's see. Hello again, Bucky. I'm not drawing this time. I'm doing music production. I hope you enjoy it. I'm continuing one that I did 2 weeks ago, I believe. My cat keeps trying to get into his food. Don't question cats having cats. Cats have cats. He already had his dinner and he decided it's time for him to get a second dinner. I told him that's not acceptable. He eats too many snacks. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna change the cutoff. I might change the LFO speed, but yeah, I think I might. I'll figure out whether I want it slower or faster, but first I'm gonna change the cutoff, because I know I want that changed. It just sounds so cool. So I'm gonna edit the automation, and all I have to do is basically draw in what I want to happen. And right now it sounds like this. Also, please pardon any noise that you're hearing. It's storming. It's kind of loud. I'm probably not going to go very long today because of the storm. Okay, so that's what it sounds like with the current cutoff, and I'm going to just lower it slowly here to, let's see. Yeah, perfect. Slowly have it come back up till it reaches where it was before, and let's see what this sounds like. Now it's a sub bass. So that turned the bass into a sub bass, which is pretty much what I wanted there. It sounds pretty cool. Opens up a little more room for trebles, which is, I think, necessary since I've got the square wave playing a little riff here. Hello, konbanwa. It's really late for you, isn't it? It's good to see you again, as always. Yeah, I'm continuing the song from last time. I don't know if you got to hear it by the time I had uh, finished the stream 2 weeks ago, but I'm just making small adjustments right now, and then I'm going to extend it further. Because honestly, I really like this one. Actually, I'm going to let it play all the way through so you can hear what we've got so far. Yeah, I'll tell you the point where I finished the lyric writing, and I'll tell you the point. Well, you'll know the point where the music hasn't been made any further. This is going to be replaced with the vocal melody. And this is as far as I got the lyrics written, because that was the end of the first chorus. That's all that's been written so far. Not very long, as you can see, although some of that's thanks to the high tempo. I'm glad it sounds good. Exotropia, if that's one of those virtual instruments or VSTIs, unfortunately, the version of Studio One that I'm using is the artist edition, which means that I can't add additional VSTs, so I have to make do with what I've got. It's tragic, but for the fact that it came bundled with one of my very old programs, I'm very glad that I've got it, even though it doesn't have as many features as the full version. I've heard, what is it? I think it's Serum that people use for dubstep. I just think that's the coolest sounding thing. Changing the hi-hats. Yes, I actually changed the drums out completely during a couple parts because it's a breakbeat song. I just love writing them. I usually struggle a lot with writing drum patterns, but something about breakbeats are just so like contagiously fun that I really enjoy writing them, and I wrote a whole bunch. You can actually see, I'll show you all the names of the drums. They'll basically tell you what I did and what I changed out. Every different name you see is a slightly different pattern. And some of them in the second half I actually changed completely but forgot to change the names. Oh, you have Serum? Lucky you. It just sounds so cool, and it's got so many cool uses. Okay, so this is what I started with. I'll actually solo out the drums. Forgive me because they're not mixed. They are not mixed. It's going to be slightly painful on the ears. I'm very sorry. These are the drum patterns I have so far. For the very beginning, I've got the first one. So that's the first pattern. It's just this And then this one has a slight fill, and the snare is a little different, I think. And then this one has a slightly different fill near the end. It's got a second, I think, a bass drum that's just barely audible, but it makes it sound pretty cool. This one's got a cymbal crash. And this one's got a lower cymbal crash, but it sounds higher. I think it's got more energy to it. And so I like following up a cymbal with a slightly higher cymbal. And then these are the same, and this one is actually two different patterns put together so that I could have a crash rollover into the second bar. And this is to start the bridge. I wanted it to be a little quieter, so this one, instead of being a break beat, is more like a trap beat. Not that I really know what I'm talking about, I just make things for fun. Sorry, I basically just know like music stuff. Anything outside of that, I just don't know. I'm gonna Google it real quick though, so I know what you're talking about, because I'm sorry to disappoint. Yeah, my brain is in music mode today. I basically just do music and art. I don't do much else. Let's see, exotropia. Misaligned eyes. Perhaps. Perhaps I do. Are you calling me cross-eyed? You'd be right. Mixing genres in music is kind of my favorite. I wish I knew more about genres so I could do that more tastefully. But for now, I'm still learning. I'm having a lot of fun. I've done this for 6 years, so there's still a lot of learning for me to do. Yeah, you're just full of fun comments, Vucky. On the other hand, I did fix my tracker and it works a little better. No, if you're wondering what's up with the distance in the pupils, part of it's because my computer is at an angle and my camera is at a different angle, so I'm looking off to the side. Another part is that I drew and rigged my model myself, so there are definitely some mistakes to be fixed, but I think the main problem is that I'm looking sideways, so the distance looks a little different than you may be expecting. I'm also looking a little further out than you may be expecting because my monitor is quite a distance away from my face. Quiet Future Bass, I've listened to it. Does that count? I think it sounds pretty awesome, but for the most part, I listen to a lot of metal. I know that might be a bit surprising. Some lo-fi hip-hop, not very much. I just really like how it sounds. I really want to make it. I really like alt-rock, alternative rock music. Oh, it's my model rigging, I think. Yeah, it's my model rigging. Granted, it doesn't matter, does it? Either way, because this is the only me that you're ever gonna get to know. Anyway, yeah, Kawaii Future Bass just sounds really cool. I really want to try making it sometime. I love hearing when people make it. I just think it's really cool. Future Bass in general just sounds awesome. Indie rock it's pretty cool, honestly. I just like anything where people make stuff themselves. I think that's super, super admirable. On the other hand, the style that they tend to pick isn't really my thing. It's, I, as obnoxious as this may be, I really like loud music. It just, well, first off, it keeps me awake. I am a sleepy, sleepy cat. I sleep so much. Loud music will keep me awake. It's more energetic. Also, I really like high tempo. I just think that's fun. Yeah, future bass is just awesome. It's really neat. I don't know. The sound design that goes into it too, it's just like, dang, you really picked all these sounds, put them together in a way that sounds amazing. Afraid I'd say what? That you'll only get to know this me. That's unless you prove otherwise, I'm only ever showing this to you. So yeah, I'm a VTuber. That's just, you're gonna have to accept that. I'm sorry. We aren't pets to be sprayed with spray bottles when you don't like us, except maybe me. Nyan. Yeah, future bass is awesome, but I do mostly listen to rock and metal. Which is really funny because I make EDM. I don't know. I like EDM a lot though. Uh, it's just not what I usually listen to. It's kind of my sometimes listening. Like when I'm doing homework, that is the time. I'm a computer science major, so EDM is just like perfect for doing my homework. I can't even explain it. The vibe is wonderful. Um, anyway, I'm gonna get back to adjusting the bass wobble because I think this might have drifted down just a little too far. Just a little bit. There we go. I think that's gonna be a little better. There we go. Yeah, I guess that did what I wanted. I'll go back and try to change the timing on the auto filter shortly, but for now, let's continue. um, let's see, what was the context there? Doing both by using samples and drawing tracks. I'm trying to remember what you meant there. As for what my inspiration is for making music, for this specific track, I'm actually telling a specific story. It's something very, very specific I have in mind. But generally, I write based off of a feeling, or it's a bit silly, but I enjoy writing poems, and so I get to put a tune to them, and it helps set the mood. Um, I just think it's really fun. As for why I make it, a long, long time ago, I've liked music for a pretty long time. I've never been, up until I was 10, I wasn't really super into it, and then suddenly it hit me. I was like, dang, this is like super fun. I'm not a very good singer, but I really enjoy being involved in music, and because of that, making music is a good way for me to actually produce something without sounding like garbage. I'm not that bad of a singer, but I'm definitely not a pro. I've been making music for, I'd say 6 years. It's been 6 years. I have made music before that, but it's nothing that I released. It's nothing to be proud of. Although I'm not gonna say that my previous releases were that great either. I took a very, very long hiatus as well, but it's something I love. I never really stopped. It's just been 6 years, give or take some months in between of making stuff. It's just fun. I recommend that everybody at least tries it just to see if you like doing it. It doesn't have to be good. It's just fun. Although I kind of say that about everything, don't I? I'm like, everybody should try drawing sometime, but I mean it. I mean it. You're not hurting anyone. All it takes is a little bit of time. It's a little harder with music than drawing to actually like get into it because of the overhead involved with programs and the likes, depending on what you're doing. But I still highly recommend it. On that note, if anybody ever needs recommendations for cheaper free programs, just ask me because I really love talking about it. Okay, so we've changed the level. No, it's not the level, it's the cutoff point of the bass wobble. So it becomes a sub bass through here, which is honestly exactly what I wanted, and I'm really glad it sounded as good as it did. Here we're back to the bass stab without really high things going on, because the rest of the high synths end here, and then by the time we get over here, they come back, but they're doing a descending motif instead of an ascending motif. I like having two synths that they're basically having a conversation. That's how I like to think of it. So like this one's going up and this one's going down. Whereas here, this one is making an arch and this one's going down. It's a conversation. Yeah, don't we all have previous releases where we just like look back and cringe a little? But one of my favorite things is to remake them and see if they come out better. It's super fun. It's really fun. Yes, just ask me anytime about cheap stuff. I got you. I got you. Just ask me. I can't be too helpful with the DAW because mine came bundled with a program that I had before, and I've never tried anything else because I got really used to this one. But basically anything else I can try to help a little bit with. I do a lot of research on it too because I just think it's cool. So ask me anytime. I got you. On the note of previous releases and remaking them, it's sometimes I wonder what I was even thinking with some of my old ones. Was I thinking? Was I just smacking notes down? I don't know. I don't know. I remade my very first one. I think it came out a lot better. A lot better. But you know, I was still like, why did I write it like that? What am I doing? Okay, so here we've got drums with a lot of cymbal crashes. It sounds too empty. I want more synths. Ah, I have an idea. Please forgive me, but I'm gonna stick a synth pad in here. I'm gonna make my own, I think. Let's do that. Doesn't hurt me. But it might hurt our ears a little. Let me turn the volume down so we don't have any uh-ohs. It can be really loud when you load in the default synth. Okay, that's gross. Time to turn off all of the effects for now. The reverb will come back shortly because this is a pad. Turning off all of these, starting from scratch. I'll turn that off for now. It'll come back, just not yet. Okay, I turned all those off because they drastically changed the sound, and I'm gonna start really, really simple. I'm turning off the noise, turning off the filter, I'm turning off the character. The LFO isn't doing anything, but I'm turning it off because I feel like it. Changing the quality makes a very big difference, by the way. This is the lowest quality. Disgusting. And this is the highest quality, and forgive the lag that's about to overtake it. You can definitely hear a difference there. I'm gonna put it on normal, because quite frankly, I think the slightly warbled sound as it lowers the quality, it makes it sound better. I don't know, it gives it personality. Time to change this because it's a pad and it should be nice and smooth. This might be really loud, I warn. These are very loud because of, there's science behind it. Basically, the midpoint here is loud. It's loud. That's the science. Okay, it ended up quiet because of this bad boy. Forgive me. Disgusting. Okay. Ooh, wow, sorry. What happened there was when they synced, the high points made it extra loud. That was painful. That's really gross. Goodbye. Okay. Wow, I'm really sorry. That was bad. Okay, so what I'm doing, I don't know if y'all are familiar with pads in EDM, but what it does is basically like fades in and gets louder, so it'll go like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that with my voice and make a fool of myself. That's what it's gonna do. That's what it's gonna do. Okay. So this is the amplifier envelope. It's going to change the volume of it, and this is going to make it fade in gradually. So now it takes about half a second to reach the loudest point. But you know what? That's not slow enough. There we go. So what this does is makes the filter higher so that it's not cutting out the high frequencies. And it gets higher through here and then lower through here. And I moved it out further so that you can actually hear it, because it's so quiet here you can't hear the difference it makes. But by this point it's just loud enough you can hear it. I also feel like I should caveat just about everything I'm saying by saying I'm self-taught. I've not taken courses given by professionals. I've definitely done some online things, but it's not the same, and I recognize that. However, it's my hobby, and it's something I put a lot of time into, so I'm not deliberately misleading you with any crazy stuff. You know what? That's totally fine. Not being related with, like, not being familiar with music concepts, that's totally fine. I hope that you will have fun anyway, despite that. And if I'm getting into too much like jargon or terminology that just doesn't make sense, or even if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can ask anything you want. Because I just really love it a lot. I have a lot to say, I just never know where to start. So basically, pads in EDM are, if you've listened to EDM before, you might have noticed how there will be a long note that's being held, and the volume shifts throughout it, and then they go to another note, and it usually builds either part of a chord, or is the chords, or is even just like complementing the melody, but is slow. It's really slow. It's not the fast ones. That's basically what I'm doing, and that's why I made it so slow, is because I know that these notes will be held for quite a while, so it's completely fine to let them fade in slowly. This changes the volume of the note, this changes what frequencies are cut off. So high frequencies are, think things like hi-hats, and low frequencies are things like bass. Generally, with this all the way down, you're only going to be hearing the bass. I have it about to here so you can hear a little more than that. And then when this is higher, you can hear even more than that, and then it lowers. It sounds, you can probably hear it a little bit. The best description I've got for what you might hear it is when it goes wah, that's changing the frequencies. This will be like ooh, and this will be like ah. And so that's fading in. I've got a little bit of noise as well because I personally like how that sounds, but the difference is very subtle. And usually I turn these off, but for a pad I quite like it because the color of the noise changes a little with your notes. I just think that's nice. Actually, I might be able to further change that by, let's see, where is my noise? Nope. This is a very bad idea. If I do that, then higher notes will have more noise and lower notes will have less, and it will hurt the ears. So I will not do that. Bye, Akio. Sorry, I've got a lot of family, and they're very silly. So, along with the storm and my cat, there will be plenty of random noises. Okay, I don't think this is quite where I want it. I'm going to turn the drive up just a little. And that's a lot more like what I wanted. I actually don't need very much of this, and now I'm going to turn, where is it? Here it is. Very important. There we go. And that's what I wanted. I have it, I don't know if you saw the poly and mono settings. Poly means I can play more than one note at the same time, and mono means I just have one at a time, but it also gives me the option to glide between notes, which I do often. I just didn't do it here. Let's see if there's any of these where I used glide. I think I used it for the bass wobble. So it glides between the notes. But I didn't use it here because I didn't have a need to. And I didn't use it for the bass stab because I'm only playing one note at a time anyway, so the difference is negligible. So what I wanted was to put the pad through here, so the note rises throughout and fills in this empty space. Let's see. it's really easy for me to just pick a note and stick with it without thinking about what will happen, but I have to make sure that it's, first off, not clashing with the potential melody, not clashing with the other synths, and the hardest part for me is making sure that it's not too close of a note to where the bass is, because you won't be able to tell, but my headphones, as good as they are, I can't hear the sub bass very well, and that makes it a little difficult to make sure that my notes are not too close together there. I'm not really sure how to describe that, except that when they're too close together but not the same note and not out of key, it still doesn't sound good, even if you did everything else right. You know what? I'm doing it anyway. I don't think that's the normal thing to do with pads, but I want to give it a try. There we go. And the overlaps of the glide actually works. If you don't overlap them, they don't glide. For this program, I know there are some where you can tell it when to glide and when not to. These are the velocities, because that's what I have it set to. I can also change it to modulation, pitch bend, aftertouch, but the velocity, if I've got it set to anything, and I should probably check, will change a combination of the volume and what frequencies are being cut out. So it's basically changing the volume and the loudness, the presence is what it's changing. No, that was not what I wanted. I just want to select this one. You get out of here. You get out of here. You're only allowed when I'm making weird synth trills. Okay. By the way, you might know this, maybe not, and that's totally fine, but generally you don't put notes very close together and overlap them because it will sound very bad. But with glide, it doesn't actually play the two at the same time. It's basically merging the notes together. It's coming up with a pitch bend between the two instead of playing the two at the same time, which here would sound absolutely dreadful. It would sound so bad, but instead it's just portmanteauing its way between the two. No, why are you way down there? How dare you? I have it locked to D major, by the way, because when I first wrote this, I wrote my melody because I already knew what I wanted the melody to sound like, and then I figured out what key it was from there and made small adjustments as needed, which my melody was actually perfectly in the key and didn't need to be changed, but my bass line did. So it snaps to the correct key. If you're wondering how I'm staying in key, part of it is honestly, with time, you'll develop a natural sense for what's in key and what's out of key. Even if you can't read notes like I personally can't, it gives me a very big headache.
More power to people who can, though. I'm so impressed. But aside from that, if you do accidentally click on the wrong note, it'll snap it to one of the correct notes. It's just not always the one that you wanted. And sometimes when I'm trying to put in a melody that might be a bit too complex for me because I'm not very skilled, I'm a hobbyist, I'll have to press these to listen to the note that I'm playing. But sometimes when I've got some down for reference already, I already know what I need them to sound like. And that makes it a lot easier for me. Oh, hello, Encounter. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. Oh, that is a really good question. So technically, my license is a Don't Sue Me license. And it is permanent. I've had it for the entire time that I've had this program. I never had a demo because my version of the program is the Artist Pia Pro edition. You might be able to see right above my shoulder. Sorry, I'm trying to turn so that you can see. Right above my shoulder here, you can see Pia Pro Studio. It's a way of using Vocaloid, and when I bought Vocaloid, it actually came with Pia Pro Studio and this program to run Pia Pro Studio. But my Pia Pro Studio is licensed on my old computer, which is So technically, a permanent Don't Sue Me license can cost anything from $0 to, if you buy this edition separately without buying Vocaloid, I think it's probably $100. It might be less. It's probably a lot less now. That was a long time ago. And then I think there's a light version for $30, which is also permanent and Don't Sue Me, but they've got a lot of limitations on that one, if I remember correctly. More so than just the don't add additional VSTs, which I think is rude. But anyway, I think the complete full version, if you're upgrading from the version that I've got, it's about $160. I'm having a little trouble remembering. I've had this for so long, and if you're buying it separately, I honestly cannot remember for the life of me how much it is. Hi Craven, it's good to see you. Like seriously. Oh, for my music specifically, do you mean to license my music? We can talk about that later if you'd like. I don't have a license in place for it. I am the copyright holder for this song. That is correct. That was a good question. I honestly haven't even thought about it. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, for those of you that are just now joining, it is super good to see you. I'm sorry for starting a bit. I think I started on time, but I did it really suddenly because I got excited. I'm continuing the song that I wrote 2 weeks ago. I'm planning on continuing writing the lyrics, but for now, I'm making adjustments to things like bridges, because it's fun. It's honestly just a ton of fun. Craven, you're new. It's good to see you again. I have been making music for 6 years, but I'm a hobbyist. I'm not a trained musician. I do most of what I do by ear, so please forgive me. I try not to use specific terminology unless I know exactly what I'm saying for that reason. But it's something that I really enjoy. So right now I'm adding in a pad for it's right before I get back into the parts that will have lyrics because I've got this empty space where I don't have the arpeggio and I don't have my square synth, and all I've got is the bass wobble, the bass stab, the drums, and no melody here either, so it feels necessary to have something to fill it. Dang, for a self-taught musician, I mean, you're already awesome. I seriously thought you were like studied. You're really, really cool. Yes, thank you. I'm glad it sounded good. I really like this one. I was debating whether or not I should start a new song or continue this one, but I was having so much fun on this one that I decided, unless y'all want to see me start one from scratch, which I would love to do, I'm gonna continue this one for now because I'm attached to it. Quite attached to it. So I haven't finished the pad yet, but this is what I've got as far as what it sounds like. It's just this. And there's no automation on it yet, which is why it sounds so boring. Automation is a good friend. Like I used it here for this either here last time. I had the bass wobble, and here basically this is the cutoff for an auto filter, and so it turned it into a sub bass through here, which I really wanted. So here it'll be normal, then it slowly becomes sub bass, here it's sub bass, and then works its way back up. So it sounds like this. And this is louder than I was expecting. Sorry about the zoom. That was fun. Every once in a while, I'm on a laptop, which might not be a surprise based on the amount of technical difficulties I have. And because of that, if I touch it with more than one finger, it'll just fling the whole screen around. And I do that so often where I'll accidentally like set my palm on it, ruin the whole thing. Let's see. I want this to be a little quieter because that was way too loud. Okay. Okay, so the actual bass wobble through here is just this. So this is what it sounds like without the auto filter. Well, with the auto filter without changing the cutoff. And this is when the cutoff is already changed. So you're hearing a different part of it. I definitely didn't mean to mute that. That was not ideal. Oh my gosh, the laptop struggle is real. No. I personally, I love my laptop because it's light. I can't carry heavy things. I really mean that. I'm not exaggerating. It will hurt me, and as such, having a really light laptop solves a lot of my problems because I take it with me everywhere I go. It makes things much more convenient. It does its best. It's a nice laptop. This one is, I mentioned my duct tape laptop before. The one that we call Lens House because I have my Vocaloid software licensed on that one because it was my first one. That one's not such a nice laptop. It's hanging on for dear life. It's it's sad, which is why I'm not streaming Vocaloid, and I won't be able to until I get a new license. And I'm really reluctant to get a new license because honestly, I'm not impressed by Vocaloid 5, and I'm super unimpressed by the new PA Pro Studio, and that makes me very sad because that's how I started, and I'm really disappointed with those. So for now, I'm holding off on getting a new license until I have a reason to do so. Yes, Lens House, I literally only use it to use Vocaloid. There is no other reason. It can't do anything else anymore. It can hardly do Vocaloid, when it's doing Vocaloid, I have to lower the audio quality so much, or else it takes 10 minutes to render 2 minutes of audio and it hurts my soul, or it'll lag like crazy while I try to edit the pitches. Nah. But it's doing its best, and for its age, honestly, I'm impressed. Yeah, getting a PC, ganbare. I hope that you get one soon. It's gonna be wonderful, I'm sure. I have the option, because there are PCs in the house, but then I'll have to be not wherever I want, and I don't like that very much. And I'll have to move my licenses over regardless. I'm not looking forward to doing that. A bit stubborn, perhaps. Len owns my old laptop, and I'm okay with that. Okay. So that was just showing off the bass wobble, and I'm changing the pad through here. I'm going to make it a little bit louder. It was just a little too quiet. I was scared of having it too loud while I was actually designing the sound, because the default synth is so loud. It is so loud. Here we go. I extended this so it blends into the next part. No, I definitely did not mean to copy the entire thing. That was completely user error. Oh, by the way, I've mentioned this earlier, but I've got glide on this, so it's actually like gliding between the notes, not playing both simultaneously. In case you're wondering what kind of musical crime I'm committing by having these two right next to each other, I'm well aware. They're gliding. They're not actually playing at the same time. That would hurt our ears. This would be a disaster. Yeah, moving all the libraries and plugins over would really, really suck. That would be terrible. Thankfully I don't have that many plugins to move over, because I've got the artist edition of this program and I'm not allowed to add additional plugins with my license. But I can imagine that would be a real hassle. And then you've got all your libraries, the sounds that you use, and potentially samples, and you're gonna have to reorganize all of that. And I don't know about you, but I'm not particularly organized. Mine are just a giant jumbled mess of sound files. Do not recommend. Please be organized if you can. That's super flattering. Thank you. I'm glad that it would. I'm glad it would sound cool on a loop. Heck yeah, that's my goal. If even one person thinks it would be cool on a loop, I am absolutely elated. Okay. I'm gonna need to take a sip of water, as I've been working a lot this week, and I am a bit dehydrated, just a tiny bit, so I have water with me. Forgive me for making funny faces. Okay, amazing. No. I definitely want to fade this out. Yay. Let's see if I can lower the velocity and actually make a difference. Not enough. I've noticed I've actually had that problem quite a bit. So I think what I need to do is, can I lessen this? Can this be lessened? That's the opposite of what I wanted. Let's see. It's my sustain. Now I need this. And this should make a difference. Yay! Okay. Please, I just want these to be lined up. Don't be weird. Alright, what this is the master gain. It's basically just the volume of this specific track, because that's what I set this to. I hope, unless something really weird happens. So I just dropped the volume here, and I'm gonna push this back out again, because now it's doing this weird thing where it gets up to that highest part, but then drops weirdly, not where I want it to. I don't like that very much. Okay. If you're wondering what's up with the, with this is the melody track. It's gonna be completely replaced before this is actually, like, it's not even gonna be here. What I do is I make the melody here, export this as a MIDI file, import it into Vocaloid, and then edit it as a Vocaloid file, a Vocaloid sequence, and then export the wave from there, and then I send that back here. I just have this here in the meantime so that I am sure to leave enough space for the vocals to fit, because sometimes I'll make the instrumental, like, there will be absolutely no room for the vocals once I'm mixing it. Mixing is kind of a weak point for me. I don't have a natural sense for it. So that's what that's for.
Being able to adjust the volume from here, it makes me too powerful. Now I can do whatever I want. Ha ha ha.
Oh, that was not what I wanted. I take that back.
No, I'm gonna have to zoom in to do that, I think. Just gonna make it get a little quieter and then a little louder.
Like the illusion that these are not gliding together.
Move this over with my mouse tool. That was not what I wanted. Not at all. I know exactly how it happened, but that's fine. Way too loud. Get out of here. I don't like that there. I'm just gonna have to change the volume of these. And I don't actually want to have it end here, which is why I've got the pitch change
so that I can continue it. Because I've got a pitch change. It'll basically bring it back to how this starts. Mad with power. Well, now you know, mad with power. I try to change the volume of things and then mess up. No, just kidding, just kidding. Unfortunately, I have a sugar addiction. I would probably just ask for sweets like constantly. It would be terrible if I had way too much power. Wouldn't that just be like awful? I mean, it wouldn't change anything too much, except for me. I'd be hyper all the time. I'd get so sick eating so much sugar. I use my power for very insignificant, selfish things. As one does. No, that is a good question, though. I do wonder, what would you do if you were mad with power? All right. Aside from the storm and the noise and my cat and my family making noise, I'm also sorry for, I'm still not feeling well. I wasn't feeling well last time. I'm still not feeling great, so I'm a little tiny bit sniffly, and I'm so sorry. But it's definitely not as bad as last time. I'm also in quite good spirits today, so it's not going to keep me down. I feel like I might have introduced this synth way too abruptly. I feel like there were other places I could have used it. Let's see. I also just think it's too cool not to use. You know what? It's at the beginning. That's cohesive, right? Right. Mm-mm. Ooh, banishing tomatoes. That's not a bad idea. Not very tasty. On the other hand, raw tomatoes are disgusting by themselves, but in things like salsa, delicious. Delicious. I know, that's just wrong, right? But delicious in salsa. Absolutely amazing. I honestly though, only spicy salsa. Mild anything when there's a spicy option is just disappointing. Maybe I would use my power to make, no, because some people can't eat spice. But what if I used my power to make sure that things can't be completely spiceless? I'd probably get some people sick. I can't do that. Even if it means that I would always be eating tasty food. Somebody out there would suffer. Yeah, raw tomatoes, I don't know. Apparently most people can't smell them. I'm like, the smell is terrible, and people are like, what smell are you talking about? I'm like, disgusting. Disgusting. They smell bad. They smell bad. Walk by produce departments and grocery stores and just smell tomatoes, and I'm like, oh, get me out of here. Just kidding. I don't say it, but I definitely think it. But then again, when they're in salsa, I guess it's because you can't smell them as well. It's the smell. They don't even taste bad. They just smell to me. They don't taste good though. Mm-mm. I'd rather eat bell peppers. They're like the same, but they don't smell, they're not squishy, and they taste better. I did actually use glide on my square wave. Here, let me zoom in so I can show a little bit of what's going on here. There are low notes, so it'll go high note, medium note. No, actually, sorry, my explanation is not very good. It goes high note, low note, medium note, high note, and it'll just do that. So you're mostly just hearing low to, I think, the high note. No, you're mostly hearing low to the medium note. I thought it was fun. All right, I see. You're probably gonna destroy the entire world, perhaps? Or are you against people who are against tomatoes? That's probably it. Of course. You know what? That's fine. I would be pretty mad if somebody decided to use their power to abolish spicy food. I would be pretty upset too. I can understand that. Yeah, I don't know. Tomatoes smell like really weird to me, but honestly, I'm glad you can smell them at all. Some people literally act surprised. They're like, what smell? And I'm like, the tomato smell. The tomato smell, of course. They smell. Yeah, I don't know. If I had a bunch of power, I don't think I'd use it to make people miserable. I might inconvenience them mildly, but I don't know. That's just me. I mean, I say that, but I bet a lot of people do terrible things without even realizing how terrible they are. I don't like that thought very much. Okay, so we've got the pitch bends here. That's what I was showing. I like to show things in case anybody's curious, but if I'm ever rambling too long and you honestly do not care, I don't mean to bore you. Just tell me. I won't see the message for like a minute afterwards because of the latency, but just let me know. Okay, that's my square with the pitch bends. I don't want to trim that. Don't do that to me. Here, I've got the pad through here that will fade out here. And then we're back to the chorus. I consider it a good thing that when I mute the melody, you can tell something's missing, because that means it is, in fact, necessary. It would be disappointing, to say the least, if I wrote a totally unnecessary melody, because then it's just taking up space that it doesn't need to take. Especially since the melody is what I started with. It did go through quite a few changes. I also changed a bit of the timing in the chorus between last time and now, because I realized it just wasn't where I wanted it, and it definitely sounds more like what I wanted now. Do you mean undo as in erasing death? Like reversing it? Or do you mean undo as in causing undo as in like undeserved? That's sorry, I think I get what you're saying though. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, that level of power would be pretty confusing. There would be so much that you could do, and so much that would be debatably a good thing to do. And it would probably be hard to know when to stop, right? That sounds like a very interesting discussion. On the other hand, I'm just a cat. Yeah, I use my power to have fish for dinner. Wow, I take it you like being alone, huh? That's... Yeah, I see. Personally, I like having friends. I don't need a lot, just a few. And as such, I like to make sure I don't get on people's bad side, and I don't like tricking people. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. But I also see what you're saying. The convenience would be incredible. I mean, imagine. You could have people when you need them and then not when you don't, and they would never be the wiser. But that sounds kind of like a terrible existence to me. Use my power to get lots of glass cups that I can knock off the counter. That is an excellent idea. No, just kidding. Because then they might break, and then they'll make a ton of noise. And then I'll be sad. And then everybody around me will be like, what are you doing? Why are you breaking things? And I'll be like, I didn't mean to. I'm just causing trouble for fun. I'm taking another sip of water. Forgive my funny faces. Okay. Would you really need to value anyone's opinion if you had immeasurable power? Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And of course, I would want to intervene as well. Because things are not perfect. On the other hand, my method of intervening would not include getting rid of people, because I think every person has some sort of valuable experience, even if even if I don't consider them a good person. I do not like the sound of glass breaking, actually. It scares me really bad. There are some sounds I do not like at all. No, miss me with that. And it reverberates as if it were like gigantic. It doesn't matter how thin it is, it's loud. Yeah, this is getting deep. Let's let's look at my emo lyrics for a second. Heck yeah. So these are just the ones I had last time. I haven't extended them very much. I mentioned earlier that my inspiration for this specific song is that I'm telling a very specific story. I'm not gonna explain what it is, but I think it's fairly obvious, right? No, that's fine. I want it to be something that, even if it's not exactly the same, it's understandable, right? The sentiment behind it, I want it to be something that most people could understand. And no, it's not a love song. No, I'm gonna say that now. But that's not to say that it's not about caring. It's a little different, in my opinion. So now with my emo lyrics on screen that I'm not singing today, since I haven't extended them at all, and that would just be redundant and pointless, right? With these on screen, I'm going to try extending this further. I thought of something very briefly I might be able to do where the drums are more like trap drums through here. I just think these are a bit too loud. So I'm gonna make that a bit quieter. Oh, actually. That's way too low, isn't it? Up we go, up we go. Go up one octave at a time. Okay, why can't I hear this? That's not ideal. What happened? Okay, so these are fine. So what happened here? What happened here? What is going on? That's what happened. Now I'm gonna change the velocity just a little. I think I'm gonna move this down an octave to make it more consistent with the ones that are later on. And here we go. You know what? Okay. So I'm changing the notes here to basically make this a harmony. Okay. Definitely need it to be quieter through here since it's not the only thing carrying the chords. It's really not necessary for it to be that loud at all. I still stand by the not liking thin glass. Sounds bad. Plus, more likely to step on it. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this all the way down here. Made it right about here. Yeah, that should be just audible. So, by the way, that's the first chorus. This is the second, and there is actually a small difference. It's not a huge difference, but most of the difference is here, and then there are small differences in the drums, I think a little further. Let me zoom in so I can see the names. I did not name them very well. I mentioned how unorganized my sound files are, but even my loops are unorganized, and I made them. I actually quite enjoyed how these sounded though, this one specifically. It was cool. Fun like Crish Crash. No, glass does not sound fun like Crish Crash. No, it sounds like ksh. That's unacceptable. Okay. So now I've got a pad, I've got my plink plink machine. Just kidding. It's part of my, well, it's supposed to be for arpeggios, I guess, is what I made it for, but I only kind of use it for an arpeggio. My square that I use for just about everything in the universe. Bass wobble, bass stab, melody, and then the drums. So to continue it from here, I guess the first thing I should do is pick what drum pattern I want, or just make a new one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Chris Crash is just the sound of glass. That's what glass sounds like. It sure does go Chris Crash. Except it doesn't. It goes shh. That's not Chris Crash at all. Not even close. Okay. Let me turn off the scale snap because it's messing up my drum input. Because it doesn't seem to understand that drums don't really follow the same scale most of the time. Okay. Okay, I guess that's the best place for that. It's not Chris Crash. It's not. No, it is not. It is not Chris Crash. Sorry, I just like saying it. It's really funny. No, that's more like the sound a cymbal makes. A cymbal goes Chris Crash. Glass just makes a mess. It even sounds like a mess. Y'all think I can put a trance bass here and see what it sounds like? Because I'm definitely wondering if I can. Definitely needs to be faster for this tempo or else it's going to sound really, really, really boring. Gonna double that. My favorite. Just kidding. But it is really fun. I don't think it's gonna work for this.
this one's just got too much noise. That's not gonna work. Should have warned, that was gonna be quite a bit louder. Sorry about that. No, don't do that. Just trying to select all the notes. Oh no, my kitty! I'll be right back. He is screaming. He just can't figure out how to get in here. Oh my gosh, styrofoam. That's okay. Yeah, styrofoam just sounds gross. It is not the most pleasant. Likewise, the sound of me moving my mic probably isn't that pleasant. Sorry about that. No. No. Sorry about the long pause as I took in the absolute horror. Both of those are the worst, but I think the worst might be like having two styrofoam blocks and then like sliding them against each other. That just sounds terrible. That's just wrong. Don't do that to me. That's so rude. What I'm doing here, if it's unclear, I don't know how many of y'all listen to trance or have listened to trance, but that's basically what I'm doing. The bass starts low, gets high. So that's essentially what I'm doing. Yeah, styrofoam's existence is just evil. It's evil. Okay, now the low notes are where I want them, and all that's left is changing where the high notes lie. I think they're a little too grating, plus there could be like movement in them, and there wasn't, which means I'm not making the most out of this. Sorry that I keep looking off to the side. I'm trying to figure out what my cat's up to. The answer is, of course, evil. No, just kidding, just kidding. Better. I've got a even better idea. Things gradually get louder. Yay. There we go. Definitely not as bad as the existence of styrofoam going on here. That was significantly better. Okay. Okay. And that's basically where I want it. What I'm going to do now is copy this, put it back where the bass wobble used to be. Just get rid of all these higher notes because I do not need them. Allow the wobble bass to actually wobble instead of just sitting there. Okay. It's not in the right key, is it? Let's see. Why would that be? Well, that would be why. Yep, it's one semitone lower than it should be. Maybe it's two. Let's take a look. Yeah, two. This should be better. I'll also move it up quite a bit. So only some of these are off? I wonder if something is related to pitch. The I know it's up. When I moved it, it snapped to the wrong pitch. That's a lot better. This is still being silly. Goodbye. No, just kidding. Just move it to before I moved the notes, because that's really what threw it off. Sorry about the struggle. That's true. Cats are cats are little beings of evil, but they're also full of love. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. They just do things on accident without even thinking about it, and it's horrible. My cat has managed to reach my ceiling and pulled my string lights that were on my ceiling off the ceiling. I woke up, they were on the floor. He looked very proud of himself. So I do agree. You're right. That's a good point. All right, I think I'm done struggling with that because that was not pleasant. That was not deliberate. That was quite unfortunate. And now I can copy this over because these sound cool. What do you think this would sound like in this track right here? Because I can't help but wonder. That's a completely different sound. That's kind of cool, actually. No, don't do that. I have a very bad idea. Let me change the volume. Yay. Okay. I'm gonna have this one get quieter. And this one I will have get louder. And it's gonna be kind of cool. Okay. Now this one gets louder. Here we go. So why does this sound so drastically different? That is a bit strange. First off, my modulation is on the wrong track. That's awesomely bad. Okay. No, you don't. Nuh-uh. There you go. In that case, I really should be starting it down there, bringing it up, because this... Oops, that was not ideal. That's fine. I could wind it down here to a close, but I could also... The other thing I'm thinking of is having a synth melody here. Let me listen to some of the motifs I got from earlier. Ooh, this is a good one. That is a good one. Where are you pasting if it's not where I want? How incredibly rude of you. Okay. I see that. So what I'm doing is I copied that motif to make sure I've got the same rhythm. It's really basic, but I think it makes it more recognizable while still giving me the freedom to change the notes as I need. Hello, cat boys. Yes, I have lore. I've gone into it a little bit once in a while. I'll talk about it. I mean, it's my life and all. I'm on my second of my 9 lives because all cats have 9 lives, and then some cats spend all 9 as cats, some cats spend all 9 as cat boys, some very unlucky cats will spend them all as people, and then some will get a little bit of each. Basically, it's basically a random draw. You either get lucky or you don't. In my past life, I mean, unless I'm lying, I was a cat and I had a really cool family. I'm just a spoiled house cat. I'm a Norwegian forest cat. That's why I'm wearing a fluffy coat. It's my sweater. That's why I'm okay in the cold. Because you better bet if I didn't have my fluffy sweater, I wouldn't like the cold very much. So that's about it for now. Not everybody goes and indulges you in their full life story all in one go now, do they? No, just kidding. Thanks for asking. I live a very spoiled house cat life. Very cozy. I wonder if there's anything I can do with modulation maybe to get this to sound just a little different. That didn't make any difference and I'm quite disappointed. Okay, I like that. I like it a lot. My process simply includes doing things if I like them and then undoing things if I don't like them. I just think it's more fun that way. Just a little too loud. Just a little. Oh man. How I lost my first life. Well, I mean, I was a spoiled house cat. We live our lives and then we get old. Just because we've got 9 of them doesn't mean that they're going to be any longer. Of course, that is unless I'm just making things up to sound like I lived a spoiled house cat life. No, just kidding. Just kidding. It's part of the reason I spend so much time indoors. It's just more familiar. But that's why I say, I mean, it would be really sad to be a human all 9 lives because they've got so much that they have to do, including taking care of other cats. But on the other hand, people aren't all bad. Some people are pretty chill. Okay, actually, this does sound like a good place to wrap up this song. So I'm gonna just. Pitch bends are fun. They're probably not necessary, but I think they're fun. That was way too strong of a pitch bend. Secret tragic backstory? Nah, I was just a cat. Maybe that's something we could get into another day. I feel like we've had plenty of deep discussion this time. Now, you'd be surprised. Animals go through a lot of tragedy, but so long as they end up with nice people around them, they're alright. But people, it's a little different for them. So, you could say I was pretty lucky. Okay. Let's see. How long is it now? It is 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Still extremely short. But that's fine, because it's a song and not like a full-length EDM track. That looks terrible. Okay. I gotta balance out the volumes a little. Please forgive me, this is my weakness. Basically, what I'll be doing is, if something is too loud, I'll make it a little quieter, and if something's too quiet, I'll make it a little louder, and then frequencies that I don't need, I'll cut out using my Pro EQ, and else I'll try to leave it alone, because it's really easy to make your mix muddy by just like boosting the middle frequencies and cutting out pretty much everything else, and I am so prone to doing that. It's just too easy. Ooh, I should probably, I'm gonna save this first, because it's about to make a huge mess. But I think I need to explode these. It means each note is going to go onto a different track. There we go. So now each of the drums is on a slightly different track. Beautiful, beautiful. No, I should probably not do that, because hopefully they still maintained their names, right? Do you think they've maintained their names, or do you think they've all just become named drum track? Oh, good. We're good. Okay. That was the important part to me, and now I need to figure out what each of these drums are. Okay, first one's clearly hi-hat. This one's also, I think there's probably actually technically a different name for it, but it is not like I would know. Probably a snare. Forgive me if I'm naming these wrong. Well, these are clearly hi-hats, so what are these? That's not my kick. That's also a snare. Why do I have so many? I'm naming them so that I remember how to mix them shortly. It'll be a little easier. Okay. Okay, so that is all of the drums in their respective tracks so that I don't mix them up and I'll be able to mix them nicely. Oh, a Pokemon game, an area named after me? Amazing. Alright, so that's it for the drums, and what I'm going to do is group them accordingly. So the hi-hats will have different mixing than the bass drum, for example, because they're not remotely similar. Cutting out frequencies from hi-hats could ruin the bass drum and so forth. So I gotta do them separately to make sure things don't end up crazy. The first thing I'm gonna do is I should probably have a drum bus first. Let me make a drum bus. Do I already have a drum bus? Is that what this is? Yes. Show me my tracks. Where are they? Okay. No, I'm not using my mic, so we don't bother with that. Gotta find where each of my drum tracks are, because each of them needs to be a little different. I wonder if I change the volume here, does it change it up there? It does, okay. Okay, let's see where all my drum tracks are. But since each one's individual, I should be able to put my effects on different ones instead of all on the same. So I'm trying to figure out how to expand this so I can actually view my tracks. Oh, that's a cool name. And a coastlands. I bet there's ocean. What a good name. Very fitting. They're inviting me. That's why I haven't been there yet. I see. Alright, let's see. How can I find my individual... Show them to me. Ah, wow. That was not what I meant to do, but this is really convenient. This way you can see the effects that are on each one without opening it. Otherwise it'll open like really weird. Each of these will open. I'm not a big fan. Show me my audio tracks separately. For example, let me put the hi-hats in a group. Okay. Unfortunately, it just put all the drums in there, so I'm gonna have to do something different. A vacation. Yes. To coastlands. That does sound pretty nice. It does sound nice, doesn't it? Okay. Are they all grouped? Because if they are, I'm gonna have to ungroup them. That's it. That is not it. Where is my group tool? I don't actually use it. So I think they might be acting together as one thing because they're all using the same instrument. So I could probably fix that by let's see if it lets me do this or if it does something really weird. Let's see, I already did that. I'm hoping so much right now. If it just puts these all into one track, I will be so sad. This had better not take as long as it's saying. You know what? If it says it's gonna take that long, don't worry, I'm distracting enough. That's not even gonna feel like anything. Yeah, so what I'm doing is exporting the tracks so they don't all act like they're one instrument. And the reason that I've got to export it, don't worry about the blinking too much. What it's doing is every time a track renders, well, every time a piece of a track renders, it lights it back up.
and they're soloing themselves. You'll see soon it'll move on to the next bit, so that so that the other tracks don't get rendered in with it. So these should all render to separate tracks. See, it just moved on to the next one. This way I can mix the hi-hats together without mixing the snares in there, and the snares can be together, and the kick needs to be separate because I need to do this thing called ducking with the kick and the bass. This way the bass and the kick don't play at the same time at their full volumes, because that really fills up the bass area of the song, and it starts getting hard to tell them apart, and not in a very good way. So ducking will help so that they're not competing with each other. It also just sounds really cool. The snares, I like them sounding really snappy, and they do sound snappy, but I wonder if some of them could use some reverb, because they are pretty dry. My bass drum is probably fine as is, but I could probably put some distortion on it, because that would be cool. Let's see, the record scratch I've only got for a little bit. I think I might pitch it up to match the key a little better. I think it'd be cool. It'll be really neat. I've got the crashing cymbals. They could definitely use some reverb. It'll make them sound a lot bigger. Let's see. Then, aside from the EQ, ducking, and potential distortion for the bass drum. Well, then I guess it's just a matter of pitching them per section. At that point, I can select them by the bar and then pitch them accordingly. It just makes it sound really cool. So some parts of the drums will be just a little bit higher than others. And then after that, I think that will be it for the day, because I have work tomorrow. And I can't do anything in the DAW while it's rendering. It's doing its best. It's going as fast as it can. I believe in it. Okay. Well, in the meantime, since I think this is going to take a couple minutes, let's see if I can come up with any lyrics. Because I do want to be able to actually finish it. I think it'd be pretty nice. Okay. So this is all the verses. Thank you. It's pretty easy now since the busy days are over. I've just got, last time I had a lot of cleanup yesterday. I had a lot of cleanup to do, but that was all right. I got to make stuff because we were totally out of things and customers needed some things, and that's my favorite. Love getting to make things for people. Tomorrow I'm actually working 3 days in a row, and because of that, I'm not going to be in too much of a rush. I usually finish pretty early, so I'll be able to get a lot of stuff done and not be running around frantically, and it's going to be pretty nice. I think it's going to be pleasant. I'm going to take another sip of water, starting to get a little bit hoarse. Okay. The stuff that I've highlighted in blue, that's the first verse. And then this is leading into the chorus, and it's actually a reference to one of my much, much, much older ones, as embarrassing as that is, but it's a deliberate choice. This and this, they're from my old one. These are all the chorus. This first part's the first part of the chorus, and the second part's the second part of the chorus, and then that's it. That's up until the end of the first chorus. Yes, it'll definitely be chill. It'll be chill for sure. but I hope it's not too chill. I do like having a lot to do. I just really like what I get to do, and therefore I like when I actually get to do it. Otherwise, I do a lot of cleaning, which is all right. We needed it yesterday. We definitely needed it. What can I do in the meantime? Well, it's a bit embarrassing, but I can probably pull up my old song so that I can show y'all the part where it actually is referencing it. Please forgive me, there might be ads. Please forgive me. This is gonna be really annoying because it's hosted on a site that I do not use very much. Not anymore. I don't think most people use it now. It's on SoundCloud. It's old. So what I'm gonna do is just find. I'm just gonna find that one song that I was referencing and play that one single part because it's important. Context. Where is it? Let me find it. Almost. I've almost got it. Okay, almost. Forgive me, this is so old. So cringe, but I did find it. Arrangements that aren't custom, I can, but there are corporate rules for how much I'm allowed to make and what's allowed to be in the cooler. So when I have plenty of time, I do just kind of go wild and make things with whatever's left over, but there are still a lot of limitations to it, which is why I really like when I get to make custom stuff for people. It's my favorite. Plus, it's just really fun to, like, they'll say something and then I get to make it and then we see if it's what they were looking for. That's my favorite. Okay, I did find the clip that I was looking for, and I'm so sorry because it's so old. It is so old. So that's what I'm referencing. It's so old. It's so old. Yeah, those are my favorites. I just enjoy doing it. Okay, it looks like it's done rendering. Thank goodness. What is it doing? It's doing this all by itself. What is it doing? Yes, that was the boy. That was the boy. That was my Len from many, many, many long years ago. Son, boy, boy. A very long time ago. But that's, I mean, it was so long ago, that's why I'm referencing it. It was important to what I'm talking about, as embarrassing as that is. Okay, so here are the rendered ones. And as you can see now, this is completely full of tracks. This isn't gonna do anything. Could probably remove it. Yeah, get out of here.
Can I get rid of this? Can I get rid of you? Get out of here, please. All of you. Go. Okay. So the first things first, I'm gonna send these to a drum bus, which basically means they're gonna be treated as a group, but I can still change the individual parts if I want to, which is much better than what was happening before, which was just miserable. Let me select all these. Sorry, I'm hitting things while trying to reach my keyboard. No, no, don't do that to me. Okay. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this? Okay. Now I will send these all to a bus. Where is it? What did you? Okay. Drum, bus. And this way I can change the volume of them all at once if I want to. So right now they'll all be the same. But I could make it lower. So that's the point of that. I can change them all at once. A second, I'm going to start with the hi-hats because they're really easy. No, you know what? I'm starting with the bass drum because it's more fun. I'm gonna just put a slight distortion. Let me pick something that'll be nice and crunchy. That's too crunchy. It's too crunchy. This is basically a different type of amplifier. It makes things crunchy. Whoa. Wow. Okay. So what I wanted to do is distort this without being super loud, which is kind of the hard part. Okay, so if you were wondering, this is what it sounds like without the distortion. And this is what it sounds like with. It just sounds a lot cooler, honestly. Well, because I am. That's why. That's why I chose to be. No, sorry. Real answer because it's easier for me to be able to share things like music and drawing this way since people will have a face to go with it. And it doesn't take the setup nor the time and space to do it so long as you actually enjoy making a model and using it, then it doesn't feel as much of a struggle as actually setting up a whole recording studio would be. I also just think it's really fun. I like drawing. I like technology. It was new technology at the time I made my model, and so I couldn't help but do it. It was the obvious choice for me. Plus, I mean, I'm adorable, so that's bonus.
It's really just because it's easier. It's fun for me. It's just a good time for me, and it's much more fun than being an actual YouTuber would be, in my opinion. For me personally, the difference is giant. For some people, it wouldn't be different one way or the other. For some people, they would prefer being a YouTuber because you've got more freedom. Like you can do like cooking videos and the likes, which would be really cool. But for me, this is easier. It makes more sense for what I'm doing anyway, especially since I love drawing and I love making models. This just felt right. Yes, I'm adorable. I'm gonna move the lyrics out of the way so that you'll be able to see the tracks that I'm changing one at a time. Because you can't see the names otherwise. I named them all appropriately, thankfully. Okay. So now we've got the bass with the distortion, which is, yes, that's what I wanted. Let's see. Do I have another kick somewhere? No, that's it. Honestly, this is more of a snare. So together, this is like the main basis of the rhythm. Time to get all the hi-hats together. Yay! They will all be in the same area. I'll do the crashes separately so they can have some good reverb on them. What would be fun for these? I bet this would be fun for these. Just put these into... Yep. What's in this? Oh no. Okay, so this is going to be where the hi-hats are. That is not how you spell hi-hats. Well, this is also not how you spell hi-hats, but it's what I'm doing. Let's do something fun. Come on, you gotta put some effects on it. Why won't you let me put effects on it? That's fine. I'll put effects on them each separately then. That is strange. That is strange. That was really weird. Whoops. It's from the feedback.
Which of these did I put that on? Why does it sound like that? That's why it sounds like that. How could you? There we go. This will be better. So here are just the hi-hats without it. This is with. It's just fun. Yeah, you know what? Hi-hats might be a fish, but I'm sorry, I wouldn't know. As for striped drum, that's an awesomely fitting name. Hi-hats for drums, on the other hand, as in like actual drum sets and not fish, are they're a little more like cymbals. Just instead of reverberating and crashing, they just go chika chika. Yes. So I've got the hi-hats are, they've got a flanger on them. It just sounds cool. But now I need to make sure that their highest frequencies are still, there. Because if they're not, then I've kind of defeated the purpose. Oh, why are you doing this to me? This is so weird. Usually I can just drag and drop them, but it's decided that's not permitted. So this will show us what frequencies are playing in these. And this is totally unnecessary for a hi-hat. The low frequencies are not needed. This will tighten it, basically. I wonder, no, I don't want that. What I want is to be able to change this a little. Bring it up. Okay. This I'm gonna tighten a little bit. Usually they say to have it be small when you're reducing it and big when you're raising it, but since I'm just trying to get this specific little high part here to be a little louder, I'm going to break that rule. Okay. This is what the hi-hats sound like without the effects. This is what they sound like with. There we go. I think that'll be a little better. I still want to have some of that clicking sound in there, so that should be better. There we go. So that's for the hi-hats. I didn't do anything for the snare yet. But oh, actually for the pad, where is it? Here it is. There's something really fun that I like to do with the auto filter, yay. Basically, the auto filter is a fun thing that you can set up that with the rhythm will change what frequencies are being cut off. Essentially, it's really fun. It's like this is without it, with it. These are really fun too. Okay, so that's the one I wanted. Now, you see we've got some peaking. It's clipping. And so what I need to do is find what's too loud and lower it just a little. And I do have a guess. Okay, and of course I could stop it altogether from clipping by just putting a leveler on it, but that'll mess up the quality of the sounds, so I'm avoiding that. I will do that last. It is something I do, but it waits until last because for right now, that's not important. What's important is making sure that every track is at the volume that it needs to be at. Now to set up the ducking for the snares, that's always something I struggle a little bit with. So first I need to find my bass that's definitely going to need the ducking, and that's going to be my Wobble bass right here. It's definitely going to need it. Let's see. So I put this here, and then I have it looking for an external side chain. And then with my snares, let me put them all into a snare group. Yay. There are probably more somewhere. Actually, it's not the snares I need to do that with. It's gonna be my kicks. My kicks and my bass drums. They're gonna need it. My snare really doesn't need to bother. Let me see what this low snare sounds like. Nah, that's not necessary. Okay. Well, no, you know what? It will be. Just because. I think it'll make it sound better. So now I'm gonna send these all to their own bus. Okay. And I will have it look for. We'll send it to an external sidechain. Or bass Wobble's compressor. This is what the compressor is looking like right now. Well, if I can. Okay. Basically, let me solo our snares and kicks and our bass. Whenever the snares sound, this will move. Usually, whenever the bass sounds, this will move, but now, when the snares sound, this will move. I bet they've got a setting for it. No, you know what? I'm gonna just do this myself. It's okay. Okay, so what I should be doing is making sure that the bass isn't loud at the same time that the snare and kicks are. Yeah, the same letter. Well, not really. Not really. I see. So you were probably asking about real life. I guess you've got your answer. Sorry, I was getting another sip of water. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess there are probably some that are able to keep in contact. Like, I guess social media would be pretty easy. Just be like, yo, I was from XYZ place at XYZ time. But at the same time, cat brains are tiny. We're not very good at that sort of thing. It is a good question, though. Okay, let me check. I've got another file that I'm going to open it because I want to make sure I did my side chaining properly because something doesn't sound right. Something just sounds underwhelming about the power of this side chain. So this is one that I've done before. It's the same genre, or similar at least, so. So let me check out my compressor for this. So this is my bass, there's the compressor. So it's pretty similar. Let's see what side chain to it. Let's see. Something like this. Nope. Let me find my kick. Here it is. See, it just doesn't sound good without it. Oh, come on. This here is how much it's being, the yellow line that appears here is how much it's being reduced. So that's how we know it's actually working. For starters, second, it will sound a little different. See, I guess these probably need to be sent as well, don't they? I'll just send all of these. Okay, now that's actually working as planned. It's a subtle difference, but it stops them from competing with each other. They're no longer trying to overtake each other, which is pretty important. I'm actually going to bounce these to a separate track so I can do the same thing, because here it's being used as bass and we're having the same problem. Just this one, nothing else. Come on. There we go. And now I need to put this on our second square channel. Paste our settings, sidechain, and set them all up to go there as well. So we've just got this. I'm just going to add another sidechain for the compressor on the square. Yes. There we go. I think this one's more important. This one does need to exist. Cool. Well, that stops those from having all the bass frequencies compete. Find a catboy sibling. Yes, I'm sure there are some who do that. I didn't. Although some cats don't have siblings. Yeah, that's just a thing. Cat treats. No, I have smelled them, but I don't eat them. I like human food most. I had fish for dinner today. Yes, that was amazing. It was actually a fish curry, and it was delicious. It was delicious. But that was a good question. I do think I would look with a tiny bit of judgment if I saw some other cat person just sitting there like eating cat treats. I would judge a little bit, just a little, only a little. Okay, so now I've got the side chaining done. I'm gonna add a little bit of reverb to the cymbals, and then I'm actually gonna do some pitching of the drums. It'll be cool. It'll be really neat. So that's gonna be pretty quick, and then I think I'm gonna say that I'm done for the day. Because it's starting to get late. Just a little late. Okay. Where are my... Yes. Here they are. Let me find my other one. There they are. Send them to the same bus. Wow, don't mind the name. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I just need a reverb. Just give me a reverb. This'll work. That was a bit unusual. Come on. Oh, that is strange. Okay. That is a little weird. That is interesting. that's it for the effects that I'm going to have on the actual cymbal, the cymbal crash. So now I'm going to, let's see, what am I going to do? No, that's not what I'm going to do. That was not it at all. So I think I'm going to select all the drums for the first, it's actually half a bar off, isn't it? One. Okay. We're gonna select for here first. Just the drums. And this is where you can actually change the pitch of them. I think I'll do these. Let's see what they sound like, 5 higher. This might take a bit. That was a mistake. You know what? We're gonna do this in much smaller amounts. Because that was definitely not ideal. Okay. Nuh-uh, don't do that. Okay, I'm just going to select all of this and change it just a tiny bit. Just a little. That was definitely more than a little, even though that was only half a note. Which is really interesting that could make such a big difference. So this is a quarter of a note up. Stop doing that. Don't do that. That's the kind of difference that it makes. It's just like it's a little fun. It's exciting. People who eat vanilla pudding out of a mayo container. Yeah, that would terrify me. I'd be so scared. if you do that, I will be frightened, but impressed. That's disgusting. I would definitely think it's mayo. Okay. Yeah, Gatorade out of a Windex bottle sounds kind of dangerous. But it would also be really funny. But it would definitely be dangerous because you have to clean it out really well. No, that one would be like scary though. I would probably like snatch the bottle out of their hands. Like, I'd be so scared. Okay, there's one catch to all these being separate, and you might have noticed for some reason they no longer sound like they go together, and it's because they're not all being compressed by the same instrument. So that's why I've got the drum bus here, and I'm gonna just really, really gently put a compressor on there to bring them all back together. Because right now they kind of all sound like separate things that aren't even part of the same set. I'm not a big fan of that, you know? I'm gonna have this very, very low ratio. Move up the threshold just a tiny bit. This should be better. You can see that the compressor's doing something, like it's supposed to. Alright, well that actually, I think that was actually properly mixed. The drums actually go together now, and they go with the rest of it, and we don't have them. Without the compressor, it kind of sounded like these were separate from everything else. And now they go together with everything. Which was definitely what I was trying to do. You probably see I've got some really fun things like bit crushers. If I were to put this on the square wave, we'll have something really funny occur. So we're gonna mix it 100%, 100% bit crush, 8-bit. It's not downsampled, and you're gonna notice that the difference is honestly really small. It's almost like the effect's not there at all. You'll start hearing it when I do things like this. Sorry. That was... Oops. Okay. What that did was change both the bit and the sample rate. So it sounds quite different now, doesn't it? Let me turn off the overdrive. Kinda ugly. Anyway, there are other fun things, but they're what I'm looking for, so they are going unused. But there are lots and lots of things that I could pick. I picked the ones that I wanted. I knew what I wanted it to sound like, and so those are the ones that I picked. Catchy. Catchy. Alright, well, I think that's it for, well, actually, I'm gonna put a limiter on it for good measure. Let me get that real quick. Where is my limiter? I can never find it. I will scroll right over it. Okay, we're gonna just lower this a tiny bit. This way it doesn't peak, and this way it'll start lowering it before it starts peaking, and that's it. This is a true point limiter, so it's gonna like really stop it from peaking, even if it tries really hard to. And with that, I'm gonna let it play all the way through this time, and then that's it. So I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't get weird noise in there. Yeah, bit crushing definitely makes it sound old school video game because it will make it 8-bit, and then the downsampling represents the sampling that was available on chiptune devices. So it does sound really similar. It's not exactly the same. You can definitely hear a difference between chiptune and fake chiptune, but it is the exact same concept, and that's why it sounds like that. Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic and start the music so you can actually hear it without me making noise. I'll take the opportunity to drink some water. Okay. Yep, that was it. I feel like it could probably be extended further, but this is as much as I feel like I can do without dragging it on for too long. Dragging it on for too long. Another reason it sounded old school video gamey with the big crush on the square wave is square waves were basically exactly what chiptune would do, and so it mimics the sound very well. I feel like people in the demo scene would know more about that than me, but yay! Yay, thank you. I'm glad. I'm like really glad. I'm gonna make the chat a little bigger. Sorry that it's so small. Okay. Heck yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to save it before any disasters occur. Thanks. Good night. Good night. I'll see you all next time. It'll probably be drawing, right? Maybe. Unless unless y'all have other plans. But I'll see y'all next time.